and we're like turning left at the light. And there's like people running in the street and we're like, what the hell is going on? And they're like, get him, he's stolen. So we're like, what? And so we like kind of go forward and this woman almost rams into my car trying to escape. The robber got into the back seat. They're like squished. And then we like follow them. And I was like, what do I do?
Getaway car?
In their getaway car. And my client's like, follow him. I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And like,
in like movie, like follow that car.
Yes. And like in retrospect, probably shouldn't have. Like maybe they had a gun or like, I don't know. You know, like I wasn't thinking rationally. We're just like, get up.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Behind the Lockbox. I'm Stephanie Zalowski here with
Cameron Barbier.
Today, I'm so excited for this guest. We have Bree Arellano with us. Bree is actually with our very own
Brokerage.
You got so excited.
I got really excited. I was going to say let's take that again, but I think we're just going to leave it. Let me keep going here.
Yeah,
good Lord, these intros. Okay, I'm going to start actually with the line that I didn't read. Bree, I first met Bree through her brother, who is our title guru, Ryan Pedichesky. Shout out to Ryan. We love you.
Love you.
So Bree's with our very own brokerage Compass. Got that down correctly. She's been in the business 15 years, which is wild. You don't even look like you could be in the business for 15 years. She's an SD native. And according to her Instagram account, this is what I was going to put, a lover of bacon, whiskey, and wine. But then you just threw martinis in there. Because I was like, we got to go for coffee. And she's like, can we go for martinis? And I was
I've
like,
transitioned, you know?
Oh, yeah. It's like maturing, like, you know?
I think so.
What,
Fair.
from wine or whiskey?
I still drink whiskey, but I think my go-to now is vodka. But like martinis
I
specifically.
just switched to tequila.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not a vodka drinker. I'm a tequila drinker, but it's okay. We can still make this work.
yeah.
This
You could
love
have
affair.
a tequila martini.
100.
I
I actually had a tequila espresso martini. Anyway, okay. This is what happens. Okay. Anyway, so what prompted this, number one, your brother was like, you have to have Bree on. And I was like, duh, like she's on the list. Number two, I texted her over the holidays, which in all fairness, it was super busy. And I was like just bored at my brother's. And I was like, let me try to get some podcast guests. And she forgot to text me back. And then she posted an Instagram story. And I immediately DM'd her and I was like, Bree, you have to come on the podcast. She's like, oh my God. And she called me immediately. She's like, I'm the worst. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. I forgot to call you back. So anyway, I know you've got stories and I am dying to hear. You confirmed everything you can tell today, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like personally?
Yes.
Yes, I was there.
No. I mean, like, didn't we talk about, you might have to talk to your lawyer about like what you can and can't say. We'll be careful.
I didn't, but I figured I would just kind of like.
Yeah, we'll be good. We'll be good. Anyway, okay, Bree, with all of that, welcome to Behind the Lockbox.
Thank you for having me.
You're
I'm
welcome.
so excited.
I'm so excited you're here. Okay, where do you want to start? Because we had talked about maybe saving like the banger for last. So.
Yeah. Well, you haven't heard the banger because you told, you haven't heard any of them. You said you want like.
I was like, I want
organic.
Shock. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So go ahead and just start wherever you want.
Yeah. I have like a few stories to kind of, they're like smaller, but I'll, like I said, save the big hoorah for the end.
Was the hoorah the one that you text me and you're like, this happened today. I'll tell you the details later. Do you want me to?
Yeah, remind me.
So obviously we're going to talk about the fire.
Yes.
Okay. Is that the big one for the end?
No. Chronologically, that is the end, but there's a big one before that.
Okay. You text me that there was, oh my God, hold on. Do I need to look back?
Yeah,
I need to look back
too.
at my text. Hold on. Let me see. You said.
Maybe it was the gun one?
I think so. One? You said, shit. Sorry, guys. The craziest thing happened on my showing today. Some old lady got robbed. A client and I pulled over to help her. I'm just telling you now so I don't forget when I come on the podcast.
Okay, so I can start with that one. But then I have another one I was thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah, so this happened like last week. I'm like taking my clients around for like a tour day and we're like in Solana Beach and we're like, at the intersection of like Rufina and Loma Santa Fe.
Yeah.
So we're like.
Which for anyone who doesn't know San Diego, it's like a nice area.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Super nice. Like Solana Beach. Yeah. And we're like turning left at the light. And there's like people running in the street and we're like, what the hell is going on? And so we turn left and then we pull over and they're like, get him, he's stolen. So we're like, what? And so we like kind of go forward and this woman almost rams into my car trying to escape. And then we like end
in her car?
In her car. Like the robber got into the back seat. They're like squished. And then we like follow them. And I was like, what do I do?
Getaway car?
In their getaway car. And my client's like, follow him. I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And like,
It's like a movie, like follow that car.
Yes. And like in retrospect, probably shouldn't have. Like maybe they had a gun or like, I don't know. You know, like I wasn't thinking rationally. We're just like, get up. So we like
And I
start
love that your
following.
client is like all in. They're like, follow them.
Yeah.
fine.
So like we like start chasing them, and I take my phone out and I like take a couple pictures so I can get their license plate.
Yeah.
And then they're just like hauling ass through stop signs, not stopping. So then I'm like, should I keep going? They're like, no, it's not safe. So then we like turn around, we come back, and apparently there was some guy at the Vons right there.
Okay.
And he like started talking to the woman to like, or his counterpart started talking to the woman to distract her, like asking her questions about olive oil. And then the guy reached
in the parking lot
inside Vons. He steals her wallet out of her purse. And then all of a sudden, like she realizes it and she's like, you stole my wallet. And he's like, I don't know. I don't speak English. Like acts like he doesn't know what's going on. And then the manager sees. And so he follows them. And that's who we see like in the street. So then we come back. I'm like, I got his license plate number. We like call 911. Like 3 sheriffs come up. And we end up showing up to our showing. We're like 30 minutes late at this point. Because like,
sorry, I was fighting crime in the streets of Solana Beach. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
That's a legit excuse for being late.
yeah. But the Vaughn's manager is like, I got to go. Can you wait with her? So then we're just like, well, we can't leave this like old lady by herself, you know?
She was old?
Yeah, she was so cute. We're like friends now.
Hell no. I for sure would have been following that car.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, she was so cute. And then like her like boyfriend shows up and we're like, oh, like.
Oh, she has a boyfriend.
Yes, she's so cute. She's like,
can't.
this is my boyfriend. She's like, it sounds juvenile because I'm old, but he's my boyfriend. And then he comes up and she's like, my whole life was in that wallet. He's like, no, honey, your whole life is right here. And I'm just like, oh my God. So then we like, we talk to the cops, we give them all the info.
Showing. We're hanging out with these people.
Yeah, but she's like texting me a few times asking questions. And then she's like, hi, Bree, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm sure you're out selling lots of houses today. Like, I'm just like, Evelyn.
Did you make
Evelyn?
like
Evelyn?
Yes.
Did you just make a new best friend?
I literally want to hang out with her.
Can I come with you?
Yes.
Okay.
We can have martinis. So you're going to have to drink vodka.
I'll do it. I'll dirty martini all day. I
Okay.
can do it
If
super
it- for
dirty.
Evelyn.
Yeah.
For
For Evelyn.
Hashtag.
So
You know that her whole life was in that wallet because if you know any grandma,
her social security
they've got
card.
the trifold. Yes, they carry that stuff and they shouldn't. And I remember like their billfold, right?
Yeah.
They like open it up and it's my grandma's was like this fat.
Yeah.
Like everything is in there.
Yeah.
No.
So, but we like go to the show and we're like 30 minutes late, and the agent's like, "What's going on?" I was like, because also I'm like in the middle of this. I'm not even texting to be like, "Hey, sorry,"
because you're like so
Yeah.
which normally you would do. Of
and then we
course,
show up
but-
and she's like, oh, just go in the back, like whatever, it's fine. But there's like this huge like deck in the back with like views, and we can see the cops like cruising around the neighborhood. I'm
trying
like,
to find them. You're like,
Yeah.
I called you.
yeah, I'm like, hey, like good Samaritan.
Oh my
So-
god, that's insane.
So that's the story. That's why I was like, oh, I need to remember.
But
Yeah,
Evelyn.
she's so cute. Like I want to hang out with her.
Okay, please tell me because I am 100% coming.
Yeah.
Yes. That is, I cannot, I mean,
I hope she
please.
got all of her stuff back.
Yeah, do you have any updates?
So they asked if she would come for like a lineup, and she's like, if you remember, will you come? And I was like, I'll go to a lineup. Like, this sounds
Yeah.
epic. Like, yeah.
Please tell me.
Yeah.
Please story that.
Yeah.
I want to see these.
I'm like video recording all of all the people behind like the
They're
mirror.
like, ma'am, that's not allowed. You're
I'm
like,
like, but it's for my story.
Stephanie needs to see.
Yeah.
They're like, who is this chick with you? Like, she wasn't even there that day.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just here to observe.
Evelyn's
Yeah.
my best friend.
Yeah. Evelyn's
I really
BFF.
just, we're Evelyn's like posse.
Support.
We're
Squad.
We're
New squad.
yeah, we're gonna support her through this time.
Yeah.
That is fucking wild.
Yeah.
Again, things you see when you're out and about. It's like not a house. But
Yeah.
Jesus. Anyway, okay, we're
So
going to drinks
pe-
with Evelyn.
Cool. So
Anyway,
that's
perfect.
there's that one.
All right.
The
So
other
start where you wanted to. Like,
yeah. So the other was like guns. I've had like 2 incidents with guns. I know, crazy. I was thinking about today and I was like, oh, I had that one. And then I was like, oh shit, I've had 2.
This has every time people say this stuff, my mom is like, has this ever happened to you? And I'm like, no, they got, what do you mean? Like pointed at you?
No. So like first one, I had this like commercial, like total tear down off like Imperial Ave. So if you know the area,
Yep.
you know, and my investors were like, oh, we need to go for like, do a walk around, you know, like, all right, go. They show up. There's like needles everywhere, squatters. And there was a squatter there that had a gun. And so he calls me and he's like, Bree, like, you need to get this place boarded up. You need to call the cops. There's a woman here with a gun.
Oh,
I'm
and a
like,
woman?
Yeah, a woman with a gun. So I was like, oh, crap. So Called the cops.
Was she like threatening him or being like, you can't be here?
Yeah, like get off the property.
Oh.
And then he's like, I'm buying the property. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
but like you got squatters.
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
so
yeah.
That could be a whole nother can of worms.
and this thing is like complete tear down. Like I didn't even feel safe.
House?
Like, yeah, but it's like, it was commercial. It was zone commercial. So they were going to tear it down and put like multi-unit there. But it was like, I didn't even feel comfortable like walking the perimeter. I was like, this thing is decrepit. It's going to like fall on me.
us. Yeah.
So-
along with maybe stepping on a needle
Needle
and
or
jabbing
two, yeah.
yourself. Like, okay.
That is, the first time I like went with sandals, I was like, oh, and then I was like, oh, this is
Bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
I need to invest in some Doc Martens here.
Steel toe boots.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So that was the first gun incident. We got it boarded up, went through like whatever.
Did he
all
end
was-
up buying it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that was good. The other was closed on this other property, and we go and I'm like meeting them for keys, and we're like inside. It's all like, oh, here's your closing basket, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And we're like opening up cabinets, just checking things out, and there's a gun. And I don't know if it was loaded or not, but like this seller was like a little weird. Like not little, he was weird. And
Where was this?
like college area.
Okay.
Was he like trying to send a message?
Like I
you
don't
bought
know.
this and
I
then-
don't know. I don't know what it was.
Where
but,
was it in the house?
like in like a kitchen, like on a kitchen shelf, like top shelf of
Open
like
shelf.
no, like a cabinet.
Cabinet, but you happened to open it. and,
We just happened to like open it. We're like looking around, and there's
They
a gun.
cleared everything else. so he
Everything
just
else
left
except
that?
for the gun. And I don't know
Did
if it
he
was
forget
loaded.
it?
Like I don't know. Like we didn't touch it.
What do you do with that?
Well, I called the agent and I was like, hey, your client needs to come pick up this gun. He's like, oh, he can't come. He can come like tomorrow. And I was like, nah, dude. Like he comes within
you
the
may
hour.
or may not have a loaded gun sitting in a property. What if
What if it was like linked to a murder or something?
also, what if like someone has a child or a teenager who's stupid and like picks it up and like,
Luckily, all they had was cats. So like,
You never know. The cat could be really smart.
Yeah. So
or the cat knocks it
I
off
gave
the
him like
shelf.
an hour, and I was like, he comes in an hour. I'm calling the cops, and the cops are taking it. Like, cause I'm like, I'm not gonna leave. Like, this is
Yeah.
sketchy.
So liable.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
I was like,
So he came.
That's
yeah. So he came, he got it, and
no explanation or anything.
no, like he was so weird.
he probably honestly forgot it was there.
Yeah, he was like, I think he was Army or Marines or something. So like, I think guns were like just
In their
around.
life, and it's
yeah,
just-
it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
for
which-
someone, my
whatever.
clients are not gun people,
Right.
They
They're
were like,
cat people.
oh yeah. Hey, no shade. I
No, I
have
know.
cats.
I'm just saying cat versus
But
gun
like,
is a
I've
little
shot
different.
a gun and I own cats. Okay.
Okay, but you're a little bit like, I could see that's you can handle it all.
Yeah.
Some people are like, no.
Yeah. So they got the gun and it was all good.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
like, remember when Bree Stoffer came on and she was walking through a listing in Cardiff and they walk in the bathroom and her client's like, Brienne. And she like walks in and there's like a Glock sitting on the back of the toilet tank. like just
hanging out.
hanging out, just like sitting on the back of the toilet tank. And I was like, okay. And she's like, I don't really
I guess that is when you're most
know what
vulnerable
to
on the
do with
toilet.
this. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, anyway, so wild.
Wow.
So anyway, so the gun is just sitting on, and I was like, I said, did you touch it? She's like, no, what if it was used in a murder? Like, I don't want my fingerprints on him. Like,
Yes.
fair enough.
My
I'm
thoughts exactly. Like that's how you get framed.
Totally. There's something on Instagram my mom sent me last night, which was so funny. And it was I've seen it around the last couple of years, but it's a meme that someone wrote and they're like, my niece is concerned that if she grows out her hair and cuts it and donates it to Locks of Love, what if the person who gets her hair is involved in a murder? Is she going to be? And she's like, she's 12. And I was like, these are very good questions.
Yeah.
Like, I've never
is a good
donated.
question.
Yeah. I dye my hair, so I've never been able to donate mine, but what if?
Yeah.
You can't donate if you dye it. Oh.
I mean, that's what they told me all that time ago. So,
Yeah.
and also I think they want thicker, darker hair, and us blondies don't have a lot to work
Yeah.
with. So,
It's like fine and fried.
100%. And they're like, you've bleached it for years, and
We don't want this.
this
shit.
looks
Yeah.
like horsehair. And I'm like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
It's so lovely.
I love it.
Actually, that's not true because my hair colorist is the shit. I love him. So he actually DM'd me. He's like, girl, your hair's fire. I'm like, well, you would know you did it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He's
yeah.
like fishing for compliments. He's
Totally.
like, oh yeah, I forgot.
He is the best. If anyone needs a good hair colorist, I'll filter you first before you send you to him. But I don't gatekeep. So if you need somebody, let me know. Anyway, he's
it.
the shit. Okay. Well, we're going into, I'm like
the
do you want, yeah. Do you,
the big
is
event?
this,
Well, the big event is
start from the beginning
okay.
because this is your house, correct?
Well, I have a story before the house. The
Okay.
house isn't even the house is a big deal, but the
Okay.
story before is
Go for
bigger.
it. Start.
So it's like I would say like 2 years ago, and I have a client. Well, they become a client. My
Okay.
girlfriend calls me and she's like, hey, my boss just went to an open house. They found this house in Poway that they want to buy.
Oh, wow.
But they need to sell their house and they need to write an offer. And it's like Sunday. I'm at like my grandma's or like my.
I love a friend that's like, my boss needs an agent. You're it. Do this. You're like,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Sweet.
She's like great. She's like my number one fan. Like always like referring.
I love that.
Yeah.
I
So
love that.
I'm like, and this is also like in the pandemic, like there's no contingent offers being accepted.
No.
But I'm like, all right, let's figure this out. I like talked to them Sunday and then I'm like, okay, we can do this. We need to get your house ready and then we need to hit the market and we need to write an offer. So like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I have my handyman there. They're like fixing things, like putting in doors, painting, doing landscaping, like 3 days straight.
Just trying to get that
Just
thing
getting
on
it
the market.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it's Thursday and it's like photo day.
Wow.
You know, and we've already written the offer and she's like, hey, you have like 4 days to get the property on the market listed, get it under contract. And then like, you know, and I'm like,
Okay.
okay, I will be sleeping, but like I can do. And
Yeah.
by the way, for anyone who does this market here in San Diego, like that was exhausting, but shockingly doable.
yes. But it was
To
like,
get it under contract in 4 days, you probably would have. Yeah.
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 But it was also like, there was like during the pandemic was like madness.
Yes.
Like
It
you
was
didn't
insane.
pee.
No.
You didn't eat.
No.
You just like sat on the shower floor and cried drinking martinis. And then you'd
Literally.
wake up and do it all again.
Yep.
Literally.
Yeah.
And you maybe got 6 hours of sleep if you were lucky.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So-
burning the candle at both ends. And I'm grateful for it. I mean, we did
Yeah.
really well.
Great year.
Great 2 years.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Stressful.
Exactly. Yes.
So we're like Thursday. It's photo day. I'm like, okay, we did it. I'm like driving there, gonna meet the photographer. And then I realize I'm in like jeans, heels, a blouse. And I'm like, oh crap, like I gotta finish getting this place ready, you know, because we're still like getting, you know, when you're like staging and doing stuff, like you're moving stuff around.
Right.
And it's
You're like, I should have wear athleisure wear, but oh well. Yeah.
but so I stop at like Big Five or Dick's or something. There's like
Oh,
one on the way. And I was like,
yeah.
oh shit, like I can't show up in this, you know? And so I like stop, grab some like Nikes and some workout stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm like changing the car. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm ready. So then I get there, we're like finishing up everything, moving things around. The photographer comes and he like is like, all right, I'm going to start taking photos. The husband is like, hey, it's 12 acres. It's like on the
Oh, wow.
on the border of like Escondido Elfin Forest.
Okay.
So it's
Cool.
beautiful views.
Beautiful.
And the husband's like, hey, we're on 12 acres. You're doing the open house tomorrow. It's, you know, it's Thursday. We're doing sunset soiree Friday and then open house Saturday, Sunday. Cause I'm like, I have to get this thing
Yeah,
sold.
sold.
I mean,
Has to go on contract now.
yeah. And like maximum exposure.
Yeah.
And so he's like, hey, let me take you out and I can show you where all the property lines are because it's huge and it's like on a hillside. So we're like walking. He's like, oh, I like brought my like machete out here and made this like little lover's lane 'cause it's wide enough for Katie and I to hold hands. So I'm like walking down Lover's Lane with this husband. Luckily,
Where's Katie?
She's like, oh, go, you know, like they're super chill. They're like our age, like homies,
Okay.
like homie vibes, you know?
Perfect. Okay.
And so I'm like, you know, not hand in hand, but walking down Lover's Lane with the husband. And we like get to this giant boulder and we're like standing on it. And he's like, okay, property line here, like see that tree, you know, and it's a giant hillside. They're on the top of 12 acres and it's just like a giant hill.
Wow.
So I'm standing on the boulder. I turn around and I hear something. It all happens so freaking fast. Like,
What?
so there's a yellow jacket nest and it attacks us.
No.
Yes. And I fall off the boulder. My pants like rip open. I'm like gushing blood.
Bree!
And I sprained my ankle. And the bees are still attacking us because they're not bees. They're yellow jackets.
Which
Oh, they can keep going.
they keep
Oh,
stinging
yeah.
you. They are vicious. They like follow you.
and they're big, aren't they?
It's like I see a bee or I hear a bee like
You're like,
buzz and I
postpartum.
still like
PTSD.
PTSD. I birthed the bee and now I have postpartum.
Wait, didn't we also just say like right before we started?
Like breastfeeding. They're like, oh, breastfeed. I'm like,
And I was like, wait, do you have something to tell me? Like, were you breastfeeding? She is postpartum still.
She wants me to
Clearly.
have a baby more than
You birthed the bee, you birthed the child, you're breastfeeding the bee,
Yes.
the yellow jacket
Yes.
still.
Yeah, so much going on. So
Is the episode called postpartum?
that.
And bees are like attacking us. And it's literally like a scene out of a movie. He's like, Bree, we gotta go. I'm like, okay, fuck. And we're like running and they're like chasing us and like
it hurt?
Well, yeah, like but I have so much adrenaline running. Like I don't
And
even
your
know
ankle and you're bleeding, like you're just trying to
but
get
I
out
hadn't
of there.
even like realized it yet. You know, like I didn't even realize my ankle was sprained yet. Like I was just like panic
Hauling
mode.
ass.
Like hauling ass. And also, besides Lover's Lane or Loop
Which
or
is
whatever it
a
is,
skinny little walkway that you're going to be running
no
down.
we went the
can't.
other way. There's no other path. Like he made a path.
Did you tumble down the other side of the hill?
Yeah, so we're like literally our bodies like folding in half trying to jump over these bushes. And then I'm like, there's a bee in my shirt. And he's like, take your shirt off. I was like, I'm not taking my shirt off. He's like, take your shirt off. And I'm also in a bra, not a sports bra, because I was in a blouse earlier, you know? So then he's like, take your shirt off. And I'm like, I'm not taking my shirt. You know, I'm at Lover's Lane with Katie's husband. And
But
now
you
I come
can
back
like
and,
feel it in your shirt.
yeah, like they keep stinging me. And so I take my shirt off, but then there's also bees in my hair. And I keep flipping my hair to get them out because in retrospect, probably not a great idea because I'm just
This
tangling
sounds
my hair more.
horrific.
Yes.
This
so
is like
then
my worst nightmare.
I'm in my bra. He's like hitting my head, like trying to kill the bees because yellow jackets also, they keep stinging you. Like they don't die. So I'm just getting
These aren't honeybees. These are like wasp style.
Yes,
yeah.
they're assholes. And like we were at their nest. So their like mission is to like kill us.
you.
So I'm in my bra, he's hitting my hair, and he's like, we gotta keep moving. I'm like, okay.
Is the house the other direction
Like, okay, so
You're going down the valley.
yes, we're like looping around this way
to try to get back to the
try
house?
and get back to it, but we can't go this way because that's where the yellow
And
jacket
nobody
is.
can hear your screams.
No. Like, and at this point, it's like
You're in the middle of the elfin forest.
it's like the sun is setting, it's getting dark, like, and I just keep thinking like, oh my God, what if this guy's like allergic? Like this is like a 6'4"
allergic.
man,
I
and
was
he's
just gonna
like,
say this is why this is her worst fear.
Yeah.
She's been, by the way, I've never been stung by a bee. Knock on wood. And she's been stung like 17 times and she's allergic. Like she swells up
The
like
doctor's like, do you work with bees? I'm like, no, but I'm a real estate agent.
bee stings. She'll call me and be like, I got stung by a bee yesterday. I'm like, where? She's like,
Yeah.
I stepped on it on the boardwalk. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
I've never like we actually call her bee queen, but anyway.
it's like cats, like they know when you're allergic, so they just like want to like mess with you more.
that's me. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So you were like
Yeah.
in this valley,
Yeah.
like
And we have
it's
their
starting to
dog
get
with
dark.
us. And
Oh shit.
yeah, so literally like
getting attacked too.
I don't know if he got stung, but like we're like literally like hiking up this hill. It's like dark, like, and he's like, we gotta keep moving. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
Can you hear them still?
the bees?
Yeah.
No. We're like far away now. Like we ran and now we're like hiking back up the hill.
Towards the
like, bees
house.
are over here and now we're like, you know,
And
making
you're
our way
trying
up
to
the hill.
get back down to the house.
Back up.
And
We're hiking and it's like a steep hill. So we're like literally rock climbing, trying to get us back.
And you are still bleeding.
I put my shirt back on. So
Your shirt went back on, but you
Yeah.
have bee stings everywhere.
bee stings everywhere.
And
But the bees
your
are gone.
Bees
and
are
your
gone.
ankle is.
Like giant. I'll
Can
show
you feel it?
I don't even remember at this point. I think I
of the
was still,
adrenaline, just
yeah,
like,
like I was
yeah.
just like pumping, like get me out of
Yes.
here. So we finally make it up to the top. Katie, his wife, comes out. The photographer comes out, and they're like, "Where the hell have you guys been?"
She's like, you're cheating on me.
Yeah, and literally, I show up. My hair is a mess, like literally giant. We're both like covered in blood and sweat and dust and tears and dirt, like.
At least
like,
you looked like hell and not just like your hair was messed up.
yeah,
You know what I
but
mean?
also I'm like, I was just at Lover's Loop with her husband, and I show up just like a mess, and I'm like,
and
she's
I
like,
almost got killed by yellow jackets.
yeah, and she's like, what happened? And we like start telling her, and she's like, Bree, come with me to the bathroom, like let me clean you up. She starts like removing stingers from me, like I don't even realize that I'm stung like multiple times.
How many times?
Like at least 15. Like she's pulling stingers.
is it hurting?
No, I'm still in shock.
Okay.
Like I don't even really feel anything yet. Like my ankle starts like throbbing, so they like put it in a bucket of ice. She's literally pulling stingers out from like my body. And she's like, you have a stinger here. She's like, where are you stung? And I knew I had like a couple. Like I could tell her.
But you had to like take your shirt off, right? And
Well,
like again and
So then she's like, my husband at this, or now husband, he's in like South Africa. So she's like, what are you gonna do? Like, you know, like how, like you don't have anyone at home. And I'm like, I don't know. Like she's pulling stingers out of my body that I didn't even know. And so she's like, I think you should get naked so I can search your body for stingers.
Yeah.
And at this point,
your
like
new client.
my new client, I've met
which
her
at
like,
least they're like so nice
They're
and our
our
age,
age, yeah.
and like, you know, I would have said the same thing to her. I'd have been like, you gotta take your clothes off. Like,
Yeah.
because you can't go sit in the car and what if you like
Yeah.
lean back on a stinger or something? That's gonna
yeah.
hurt like
Well, and I don't
hell.
have a husband. I don't have a partner at home.
anyone
like,
to like search your back. Like
yes. And
yeah.
So I'm just like,
Okay.
okay. And I also can't really move because my ankle, I kid you not, is like this big. So this ankle was messed up. This one was bleeding. So she basically had to like undress me because I couldn't.
She's a
like,
saint.
So then I just sat there and I'm just like naked and bloody and dirty. And she's just like searching my body for
Oh my
stingers.
God, Bree.
And I was just like, oh my God. So fast forward, I come the next day for the open house.
On crutches?
On crutches and a giant ankle brace. And everyone's like, oh my God, what happened? And at this point, like, I know, disclose. But I'm like, when we get the buyer who's writing an offer, I'll tell them, hey, there's an active yellow jacket nest. We're going to get rid of it. But like, I don't think it's necessary to tell everyone at the open house
what
the story.
happened to you yesterday.
Yes.
I 100% agree.
And so everyone's like, I'm like, oh, I just tripped and fell. I'm like, oh, you got to come up with a better story than that. And I'm like, well, wouldn't you like to know? Like,
you buy the house and maybe I'll tell you, bitch. Like, don't get out of my business. Like, I'm still in pain. I'm totally just cannot believe what just happened to me. And this is yesterday.
Yeah, literally yesterday.
The day before.
My husband's in freaking South Africa for work. And I'm like by myself, like, and I have to drive and it's my right ankle. And like, so it's like, I can't, like, I'm just like every time I use it.
Oh my God.
And then now I'll get into the fire. So they kind of go hand in hand. But so then, I don't know, 4 days later,
oh God,
my life is just like chaos. Like I can't do anything. My ankle hurts, and
husband's still gone.
Husband's still gone, and we just bought. We got it under contract like first weekend.
Okay, great.
Everything's good. They got both houses. Like all was good. So everything was good.
Deserved
there.
that after everything.
Yeah, 100%. Like earned my commission.
Yeah.
Behind the Lockbox is sponsored by Property Showcase Group. Property Showcase Group has a team of creatives, directors, producers, editors, marketing specialists, and designers that work in tandem to tell and share stories of the built environment. Whether you're looking for full-service production or simply just need content creation, Property Showcase Group can help take your business to the next level. To learn more or to contact Property Showcase Group to schedule a consultation, you can find them at propertyshowcasegroup.com. That's spelled PROPERTYSHOWCASEGROUP.com. PropertyShowcaseGroup.com.
But then like 4 days later, I literally sent, you know that meme or that gif of that dog sitting in a burning room and it's like everything's fine?
Yes.
That was my life because we like had just bought a house and we were doing renovations.
You and your husband.
Me and my husband.
Yes.
And we're doing renovations. I sent that to someone.
And hold on. At the time, are you still living in San Clemente at this time?
Yes. So we're like
you are
driving.
Commuting.
With a broken ankle.
To
everywhere.
It's not like Oceanside, where the house I think is located that you're about to talk about, is much closer than
San Clemente. Oh yeah.
To Poway or Elfin Forest or whatever from San Clemente, because then you're like going in versus Oceanside is just like the next town over, basically. You know what I mean? So,
I literally got like an ice pack and I would strap it to my ankle while I drove. Because that was like the only thing I could do. Oh
my God. Okay.
So
anyway.
Yeah. So like send that meme or GIF or whatever it's called. And I kid you not, like 4 hours later, my neighbor calls me and they're like, your house is on fire. I was like, I did not bring this to become like, I was like, okay.
Oh no.
So
you just bought this house.
So we closed like June 9th or something. And now it's like June 29th. Like it's like 20 days later.
And you had
already starting renovations?
Yeah. You had planned to start renovations.
Yeah. So we started renovations and all we were going to do was like the master bath and the kitchen. And the kitchen was like kind of an afterthought. We were like, you know, like, okay, let's do it. But basically that day a hot mop company came and that's what started the fire in the master bath. So yeah, neighbor calls me and is like, your house is on fire.
And this is while you're driving with a swollen ankle. Husband is gone in South Africa.
Yep.
And you're trying to go do this open house. This is all the same day.
This is like within like 4 days. Yeah, same week.
Okay.
And I'm just like, it's fine. So like drive up there.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, I drive up there. I'm like on crutches. I'm like crutching up to my house with like, there's like 5 fire trucks there. And I'm just like, okay, it's fine. Luckily, the new neighbor is a firefighter.
Oh,
so his sister was at the house and she called it in. And he got the notification because she gave her address because she didn't know our address, you know?
Oh, wow.
He gets the notification. He's like, he freaks out. He calls her and she's like, it's Bree's house. So he calls all of his, we had like 8 fire trucks there within like 4 minutes.
Well, best neighbor
to
have.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like I was like, thank you, Adrian.
So it did not completely go up into smoke.
They said 15 more minutes and the whole thing would have burnt down because it was contained in the attic. So this is why as a realtor, when you have holes in firewall, it's important to get those patched.
It's a problem.
Yes. So like that's why when the garage, like that's why you should have a fire rated door and why you should have firewall, and same for the attic. So it was all contained.
I come from a family of firefighters, so yes. Yeah. Fire terrifies me the most of anything.
Yeah.
Like people are like, oh, it's just a smoke detector. I took it down. I'm like, you what?
Yeah.
No. Like it's not even a realtor thing. It's like, this is terrifying.
That's how she
She heard it.
Yes. So she was watching an action like film and she kept hearing this beeping and she thought it was the action film. And then like 20 minutes goes by and she's like, what the hell is that? And she walks outside and she could see the smoke coming out of our attic vent. So that's when she called it in. So the smoke detector is literally the thing that saved us.
Wow.
So
there you go. For anyone who takes that down, put that shit right back
and
up.
replace your batteries.
Yes.
Like,
or hardwire that shit or both, whatever. Yeah.
So
wow.
Not that it's the same, but carbon monoxide, my brother-in-law has a tenant in Temecula and he said he thought he smelled something and they're like, everything seems to be fine. Then the alarm started going off and they had the heater on the pool so high that it was
leaking?
Yes. It was getting into the house. And thank God for the
CO2 detector.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are
like,
no joke. Dude, my Furbo nanny camera.
Oh, I was thinking vacuum for a second.
So was I.
Yeah.
No, but like it's, you know, when I'm not here, Gwen goes in her kennel and she's on the floor. And like I have the Furbo dog camera and like anytime she barks or whatever, it lets me know. But it also, if any smoke alarms or CO2 go off, it detects it because your pets are home.
Yeah.
And CO2 sits low.
Yeah.
So it doesn't.
That's so smart.
It's that stuff, again,
Like, it
family
has it in
firefighters,
it?
but what?
It has an alarm in it?
No,
Or
it'll detect if
the
there's
noise.
and it'll tell me CO2 or it'll
It's
tell me
going off.
smoke alarm is going
Oh,
off. Like,
that's cool.
So it gives me different, I can show it to you, but it gives me different alerts so that like if she's barking, it's an alert. If somebody enters it, it'll say one person shown. And like when I was gone over Christmas, I had work done here and I turned it around because it's flipped. You can see it behind me. It's flipped around at the wall because it doesn't need to be watching me. That's creepy. And sometimes, you know, I walk around naked, like whatever. But like it'll alert me and I can see, and it follows the people. So it would tell me like who's here. So I got to make sure that nobody was walking into my bedroom or into the kitchen to do it. I kept seeing them just walk by here.
Yeah.
But like, again, those things are so important to like have because not only will they save your life, but your house and your pets and like your loved ones or whatever. Like it's not something to mess with.
No.
So
How much damage did you have to redo with the remodel or did it kind of work out?
Well, so
for anyone who wants to see the full story, head over to Bree's Instagram.
yeah, it's all there. So June will be 2 years since we bought it, and you know,
Still not moved in.
Still not moved in. So basically, the original contractor hired an unlicensed, uninsured, unbonded hot mop company.
Oh, that started the fire?
That started the fire.
Lovely.
So yeah, that's a whole thing.
I know you can't talk about that, but are you doing something about that?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's what happened. But then basically that happened, and then we had like originally they were going to do it, but then we felt like there was kind of like they didn't have our best interests at heart, like because they were going to do the repairs, but it was like kind of like
contractor.
Yeah, but then it was like, well,
Yeah.
you know,
How can
like
you trust it?
yeah, so that's kind of how we felt. So we ended up placing an insurance claim, which is great. 2 weeks into home ownership and a fire claim. State Farm loves us. They also had...
Ew, look, you could even get insurance right now.
Well, they left California. I hope
Yeah.
it's not because of us.
They were like, this chick taking all the claims.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
so
God.
we hired a public adjuster, which is great. They fight insurance on your behalf. They obviously take a portion of it.
Okay.
Which actually, the reason we got this public adjuster is from Mike and Katie, the B couple. They used a public adjuster, so they referred me this guy.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, cool. Yeah. And so we haven't had to deal with insurance once, which is great.
That's good.
But it's just been like 2 years in the making. And glass half full, we're getting a brand new house, brand new electrical, plumbing, like everything.
The stories that you posted of like what you guys are doing is so sick. And wasn't there something that was not permitted?
Yeah.
That
So
now you're making like a really cool like California room.
yeah. Well, so the California room's in addition to. So we had
Okay.
like a sunroom. And when we were in escrow, that contractor came out and he's like, hey, we just got to like fix the roof. And then it was like, hey, we opened up the roof and you got to pitch it. And so it went from like 2,500 to 4,000 to like, hey, we got to take this whole thing and redo it. And it was like 25,000. I was like,
Oh my God.
so then we tore it all down, rebuilt it. And then when we had the fire, turns out it wasn't built to code. So then we got flagged by the city.
Wait.
Yeah.
You tore it out, rebuilt it, And it was not rebuilt to code when you just rebuilt it and the city flagged it after the fire?
Yeah. So then we had to tear it down again.
Oh.
So we've had.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I forgot. In between all of this, we also had a flood.
Okay, we need to stage this house.
Well, okay, I'll get to that.
Oh my God.
Like how much time we got?
Wait, girl, it's fine. He hasn't held up his 5 minutes yet. You're good. Oh my God.
So yeah, so I forgot. So in between the tear down, it floods because all of the pipes. Okay, so hold on, let me circle back. So the city of Oceanside decides to replace all of the water meters. We don't get notified about it because had we, I would be like, hey, water meter, turn on the water's turned off. Because we had to turn the water off at the main because when you have a fire, you know, you turn off your gas, electric.
Yes.
Yeah. And so someone comes, they replace the water meter. In our house at this point, because there was a fire and we haven't done anything with insurance, it's covered with like a tarp.
Yeah.
Because
it's
like you can look at it and be like, yeah, that house looks like it's falling apart. Like literally from the street. Like, you know, it's not like the fire was hidden. Like you could see this thing and be like, yeah, that house is messed up.
Yeah.
So someone comes, turns on the water at the main, replaces the water meter. Same neighbor next door FaceTimes me. And I'm thinking, well, that's weird. So I answer and I just go, what's wrong with the house? And she flips it over and we're on a hill. Water's just like gushing out of the house. Like literally pouring out of it. And I'm like, here's the lockbox code. I'm on my way, but would you mind just opening it and see if you can like turn off the water? She opens it. She's like filming. It's raining in the house because all the pipes that had burned in the fire are now flooding the house. And I'm just like,
how much work has been done at this point?
we're still kind of waiting for insurance to process. So we haven't really done anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So luckily. And I text Drew because I'm FaceTiming the neighbor and I'm like on the freeway, like, oh, fuck, I gotta get there, you know? And I'm like, house is flooding, meet me there.
To who?
To my husband.
Okay.
And he shows up and I'm just laughing. And he's like, it's not. And I'm also still like, I still have like an ankle brace at this point, you know?
Oh my God.
And I'm just laughing.
You're like, I'm just laughing to keep from crying, just so you know.
And he's like, it's not funny. I'm like, it's kind of funny. Like,
and he's like, it's not fucking funny.
Yeah.
You're like, yes, it is.
I'm like, what are the odds?
Yeah.
You know? And at this point too, we had like just ordered like this beautiful custom couch, like, and
It's not in there.
Well, she said, like, you need to pick this up. We're not a storage facility. And I was like, I'm sorry. We had the fire. I've just had a lot going on. Like, just give me a second. And she's like,
Rude.
She's like, don't put, they're actually great. But like, she had held
We're
it
not
for
a
like,
storage facility. You're like, I know it's been a year, but like, can I just please wait one more year?
Like, it was like a few months, you know? And she's like, and she's like, just put it at the house. Like, what else could go wrong? And like, you know, like a woman's gut, like we just know things.
I'm not going to put it in
the house. I was like, I'm not going to put it in the house. So I end up getting a storage unit, literally just for this couch, like down the road. So we deliver it, we put it there. Like 1 or 2 days later, house floods. I'm like, thank God.
You probably would have been crying.
Oh yeah,
at that point.
Yes.
Had the couch.
Had
the
the
couch
house
been in there.
funny. The couch not funny. Yeah,
I agree.
So Drew shows up. He's like, it's not
Also,
funny.
you don't want it to get dirty.
Yeah. Well, it's like sitting up. Like she was like, it's wrapped in plastic and it's sitting up. Like no one's gonna sit on it. But I was like, I don't know.
Still.
Yeah. So luckily we did not put the couch there. So then it's flooding. Then that's the whole thing. And then we have to tear down the room, rebuild it. Like that's a whole thing.
Are you also going to do something about that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the fact that it wasn't built, like, I am infuriated for you.
Yeah. So now at this point, we did permits. Everything's built to code. We passed our final inspection and now things are moving.
Okay.
So
It looked good. I mean, you were getting like cabinets, right? And
Yeah,
like things
yeah.
are
Supposed to
coming
move
together.
the question as old as time.
They say 3 months, but I'm going to plan for 9.
I've been saying 2 months for the last 2 years. Just
sure.
like at some point it will become a reality.
Right.
Yeah.
It will.
You know,
it will.
like,
and we're
you
going to
keep
have an
saying
epic
it.
party when you do move in. Yeah.
But so then I guess to bring in the sage. So at this point we've had a fire, we've had a flood, then we had to tear down this room twice. You know, my friends were making jokes that like I must have like, you know, been at like an ancient burial site with the bees and I like welcomed some spirits.
Let's not forget, even though this is your house you're referring to right now, like the bees, all of this happened within
like a couple weeks.
Yeah, of each other.
Yeah. So it's
you
fine.
brought in something.
Yeah. So like something happened. So then one day I'm like, I'm just going to bring some sage. Like I'm not super woo woo, but I was like, what can it hurt at this point? You know? So I bring some sage and I'm just like, la, 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 you know, kind of like fucking around. I'm like,
She starts another fire.
like, yeah, no, like I look online, like how to get rid of spirits, you know? And cause there was a guy at our property, the old owner, who apparently was like in the driveway and rolled into the ravine and died. I don't know. Like, Like
You missed that part.
like well,
You just glazed right over that. So the old owner actually died right before he sold it. He just rolled right back into the ravine and like, you know, maybe he's there. And like
that's my assumption. Is like Ward is there. Like
his name is Ward.
Yeah. And we're the first.
Did I not tell you? Like I
and
only you.
Yeah, but like also we're the first owners that are not family. But I don't know when he died. It could have been the 70s, 80s, 90s. Like,
okay.
I just know our driveway's
I think
super
we need
steep.
to look this up.
I've tried.
Who sold the house?
This guy Gil, who I'm friends with now. Like I help him with open houses and we're like homies. Like,
Can Gil give us any insight?
so I asked him, but he was like, "Oh, the family doesn't really know." Like I think they know, but like I don't know.
But like, wait, okay, so he was the agent though.
Gil was the agent.
No. So who, like, the family sold the house in a trust, or was it probate?
Yeah,
or
it was
just
trust.
like it was a trust? They were like, no one's living
It's
here. Let's
been
just get rid of it.
Correct.
They've had it. They were probably the first owners of it, or the only.
Yeah.
owners,
They
right?
were. So there was basically like
Ward is for sure
four
there.
properties, and then they like parceled them off, and ours was the last. Like the rest of them, they sold. Ours was the last one, and it was the original owners.
Wow.
Until we bought it. So Ward's like, "Get the F out of my house,"
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So I'm walking
He
around.
was clearly not ready to go.
No, yeah.
It was an
And
accident when he rolled into that ravine.
we don't know. Like, did he die on the property and roll? Did he die in the ravine? You know, like
How did he die? How did he just die when you roll into a ravine? What?
yeah, I don't know. So I'm like walking around the stage. I like look up, like I
have a lot of questions.
How to get rid of ghosts, you know? And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Ward, leave, blah blah blah." Like I don't know, whatever. You're
Talking to him, you're like, come on, Ward, stay at your place
well,
anymore.
I didn't like have a heart to heart. I was like, dude, come on, like
don't do this to
Like
me.
I'm trying to move in here. I'm gonna try to start a family. You had a family here. Like you
We're
can
cool.
stay,
We're
but
homies.
like,
Like,
just we can drink
cool.
whiskey together. I'll
Yeah.
pour one out for you.
100%. I'll leave you a glass out. Like, just
please stop burning and flooding my house.
Yes.
Like let's be homies.
Yes.
So I'm saging, just like,
Are you there by yourself?
No, Drew's there.
Okay.
The contractors are there.
Okay.
And not the main contractor.
She's out in the yard, like having a talk with Ward, and everyone's just like looking at her. She's like, come on, Ward.
This girl
Come
is
on.
psycho.
They're like, maybe you're the problem.
yeah. And so we're there with our new contractor.
Good. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the guy who's there all the time, like not the main guy, but you know,
Yeah.
the guy's working there. He's like, "Oh, why are you burning stage?" I'm like, "Oh, I think it's haunted." Haha. And he's like, "Oh, it is." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "There's been twice that I've been working in the guest bathroom and I saw someone walk by.
I literally just got chills.
And I turned around and no one was there. I just saw a shadow." And then his son is like, "Yeah." He's like, "You know when you just feel eyes on you?" He's like, "I've been working on this back room and there's been a few times where I feel eyes on me and I turn around and no one's there."
Word.
Yeah,
Ward
Ward.
is not happy.
I know.
So has Ward been back since you saged?
Well, so then I got a medium.
Oh,
Good girl.
okay.
Good girl.
Again, I'm not woo-woo, but my neighbor was like, "Oh, I
I'm
got
not
this."
woo woo, but we are really into this shit. Like,
So-
I believe in all this
So
stuff.
I'm more so like, I want to get like a Ouija board there and have like a seance, you know?
Okay,
like,
I would not go that far. That terrifies me.
Okay.
However, tell me about it when you do. Yeah. But the medium I would do.
So
yeah.
she comes. She is like this frail old lady, like so cute. Like I call her and she's like, "Oh, could you pick me up?" And I'm like, "No." Like and at this point, I don't know that
my
she's
cycle's
Evelyn.
broken.
Yeah, it's not Evelyn.
I also it's not like, but also I don't know that it's like this old like frail lady. And I'm like, no, like I'm not.
You're like, I'm hiring you.
Stranger danger. Like, I'm paying you. Get your ass over here.
So then she comes. And then I feel bad because she gets out of the car and she's like, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm such an like."
You're like, I'll take you home. I'll take you
Yeah,
home.
like I was like, she couldn't even like hit me if she tried. You know, I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm such an asshole." So she comes and she like brings this little crystal ball or bowl. She puts water in it and she puts a candle in it. And then she walks around
Interesting.
and she's like, "In the power of Buddha, in the power of Jesus, in the power of blah, blah, blah. Like spirits be gone." And again, I'm just like, all right, I'm just like following her around. Like I think like, you know, the candle's gonna go out and a door's gonna slam and it's gonna be like,
I for
and like
sure would have thought that.
nothing happened. It was like so
that's
anticlimactic, and I was
yeah.
just like,
Okay.
Well,
all
what did she
right.
say? I shouldn't say.
I mean, she was like, "Yeah, the spirits are very strong here," but again, like, I don't like.
Do we need to hire someone else?
Well, I think personally, it's just like a series of unfortunate events.
No. We're going to call Kevin Shaman.
Who's
Oh,
that?
yeah.
We just
know
need to
a
give him
shaman.
the address.
Who's that?
So Kevin Botsford was on a couple weeks ago. and
Okay.
he had the exact same situation happen where,
With Ward.
yes, it was in Pasadena though.
Okay.
It got to the point where water turned on and he heard it.
Oh my God, my heart's like beating.
He went upstairs and the shower's wet, but the water's not there. He was doing an open house. Nobody lived in the house. And there was
Like no one from the open house turned it on.
nobody else was there but him.
Okay.
It had just started. Nobody was
Oh,
there.
okay.
when he took the listing, there was drawings, and I'm sorry for everyone who's already listened to this. You need to listen to this episode because it's so good, but we can absolutely call him and you just give him the address and he will, long story short, there was like,
What were the drawings though?
well, this little girl who lived there who was special needs had drawn with crayon on the wall and she was like, that's my friend. So she was clearly experiencing these spirits because there was an attic, a door into the attic through her closet. And he opened it and it was like hot and musty in there. And he's like, and he said the same thing. He said, you know, when you just feel like somebody is watching you or someone is there, he never saw anything, but he could physically feel it. And it was not a good feeling.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where he called his mom. He's like, who he works with his mom. And he's like, I'm out of here. You got to do something. I'm out of here. I'm not staying. I'm not even turning off the light. Like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
They called their friend the shaman. And sure enough, there was a portal, a spirit
Apparently these are portals.
portal
Okay.
that was open. He closed it. It's a temporary fix.
Okay.
But it was like a motel where they were coming and going. Some were good, some were bad. The bad tend to stay a little bit longer. No.
And it like closed.
But like, so you believe in that though?
100%.
Okay.
And I've also seen a medium.
Okay.
I connected with my loved ones on the other side and it was the most amazing experience
Really?
of my entire life. I cried. She said things you would she would never know. Like
It wasn't like,
no.
You have problems with your mother.
No.
Like we all
She
do.
connected and I, in my head, I was saying, and this is like totally taking a tangent, and,
Yeah,
you know,
take
but
it.
like I was wearing my grandma's necklace that I had just restrung on a gold chain. I did not tell my mom I had it on. It was under my sweatshirt. You couldn't see anything. This was over Zoom, by the way. And I'm getting frustrated because my best friend died when I was 17. She came through. My mom's mom had just passed. She came through for my mom. It was like really wonderful. And, you know, these are things you can't Google. And I had my hair down, like you could not see anything. And in my head, I'm like, she's saying things. My mom and I are like, this isn't making sense. Like, and I'm getting frustrated because she is the one person I wanted to connect with.
Yeah.
And she starts doing this and she's like, oh, she gets eventually out. Are you wearing a necklace? Do you have jewelry of your grandmother's? Did you just restring it on a gold chain? And I like literally pulled it
Damn.
out.
Okay,
She
that
would
gave me
never know.
chills. Yeah.
And I burst into tears. And she's like, and she said to say butterfly. And in my head, I said, if this is you, you need to acknowledge the necklace and butterfly. And I kept saying necklace or butterfly, necklace or, in my head.
Yeah.
Not to my mom, not out loud. And then she said that. and I just
shit.
like
I literally got
lost it. So she believes in this stuff too. I have not seen stuff. I don't get all crazy and woo woo with it. Like I don't sage things all the time. I don't have crystal. Like it's not, it's not that deep, right?
Yeah.
But this stuff happens. Like it is a thing, and there's such thing as purgatory. Certain people believe in that. And, I did find out that my best friend who had passed was kind of stuck there for a little while because they kind of don't want to cross over completely. It's a whole thing. But like word is there, man.
Yeah.
So we need to call this shaman.
Okay.
And we're going to do this together.
Okay.
And all we have to do is
Should we bring Max and
100%. We're bringing everybody in this room. I'd like
do the podcast there?
Yeah. And we'll be like, what do you see? What do you feel? Oh my God.
Trip.
Yes.
Yes.
Max, are you down? He's down.
Behind the lockbox takes Oceanside.
Takes the shaman.
Ward.
Yeah. It takes Ward.
Behind the lockbox,
But it's
verse Ward.
You need somebody serious. Like she's cute and all and everything, but
Yeah.
like, no. Like you really need someone who can like,
So we don't tell him the story. And what if
you don't say anything to him? He actually might not even come down. You give him the address.
Okay.
And
Another lady too. You just give her the address.
Yeah.
And then they can tell like, oh, it's not worth my time.
they
Okay.
can
I
like
had mine
literally go there or in their mind, or they can be like, yeah. There's some stuff that like went down here.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I'm down.
Okay. We're going to do
I'm
this.
still like on the like, hey, series of unfortunate events kind of vibe, but
I think that there's an element to that for sure. Like, of course, let's be logic here, right? But like, it's more fun to think.
well, it is super
But
fun.
also,
like it's like, oh, my house is haunted.
But no, I want your house cleared before you move in.
Yeah.
I don't want these things to keep happening.
But I don't feel it when I'm there. The only time
Okay,
I feel
good.
weird when I'm there is like when it's getting like a little late. But that's because like we had like someone try and squat one time, and I'm just like,
100%.
oh, it's a vacant
also,
house.
we're
like,
just women, and it's like I get that way. Like,
Yeah.
when you were telling the purse story, like I don't carry a huge bag anymore. Like I just can't handle it. And my purse is like this big, but every time, cause it's crossbody and I throw it behind me, I always zip it up.
Yeah.
Because it's not an easy zipper. So I will feel if someone is trying to tug on that. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and the second I get in my car, I lock my door.
Yeah. And look in your back
It's
seat.
it's a reflex. And I had somebody try to get in my driver's side passenger door as I was ready to back out. And he like tugged on the door and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, hey. And I just like hit it in reverse, and I had locked the door.
Yeah.
And the medium said to me, have you ever had something really bad happen that could have been worse? And
Yeah.
I immediately thought of that because I was rattled by that for weeks.
Yeah.
And my brother was like, you know, because I was in the middle of nowhere. I was driving to Phoenix, and my family was like, well, maybe he was just like looking for his car. My brother's like, how many other of your car were sitting in the parking lot? And
Yeah.
it was there. Mine was the nicest vehicle that like there
Yeah.
was, and
That wasn't
and
it.
the way he tugged on it, and then I like hit it in reverse, and he's like, oh, like, and acted like, and he kind of just like looked around like, oh, and I cried the whole way to my parents. Like you just knew, you knew.
Yeah.
And all I could think of is, what if he got in my car?
Yeah.
What if the door wasn't locked? Like,
Yeah.
safety tip, like for women, like again, in our industry, I don't go in, you do the same thing. We don't go into vacant houses without my client. Like if
Yeah.
it's not my listing and I'm waiting and meeting a buyer there and I've never been and I know it's vacant and staged, no.
Yeah.
I won't go in. I'll wait for them and I'll just tell them it's a safety thing. Like, let's go in together, turn on the lights. Like, because how many times have we walked in and there's been a squatter?
Oh, yeah.
Or something. You know what I
100%.
mean? So, okay, we're clearing your house.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. I'm excited.
That's
Can
insane.
I bring a Ouija board though? You won't
Okay,
partake?
I
Oh
will.
my God, that's so scary. You will?
Yeah, I think that's fun.
I'm going to stand in the corner and just drink my martini and
Okay. Oh, so now you're a martini girl.
no, I will be that day then.
Yeah, there's a
Tequila. I'm
Ouija
going to need
board.
something stronger. I'm
Okay.
going to need some tequila. Okay.
Okay. I'll bring
Is Ryan
just-
a Ouija? Will he do it?
I don't know. I
Well,
don't
Drew?
think- Drew thinks it's all silly. Like he's super logical.
I get it.
So he's
get
like, you know, like when I was like, oh, come for the medium. He's like, I'm not coming for the medium. And then she's like pulling my cards and she's like, looks like your husband is not a believer. And I'm like, well, yeah, because he's not here, you know, but
She had tarot cards?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't really get down with that.
That's what I mean. Like it was kind of
yeah,
like,
I don't, she's not the one.
it didn't hurt to bring her there.
no, it didn't.
But
It didn't. And
Well,
there's
it
probably
hurt
some
her.
element.
yeah. Damn savage.
Physically. You are savage. You're
I'm
like,
saying savage to her. She's the one that said it hurt.
she could barely get there.
she is savage. She's
Yeah.
like, she drops like when you don't think about it. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're trying to
I'm the
blame
bitchy
me.
one.
She's the one who
I'm
said
the-
it.
Sorry, I was like, yeah, you're the savage. You didn't go pick her up. But Cam's like, no, you broke her.
back.
By her getting out of the car, you just broke her down.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Oh my gosh. Our next guest is here and we're like not even finished. It's so
oops,
funny.
sorry.
Anyway, that's okay. I knew this would happen. It's okay.
Yeah, we
All
like
right.
to
We're
talk.
going to play 3 rapid fire questions,
Okay.
a game. And just this might
Whatever
insight
comes.
some other stuff, but like first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the craziest or pettiest thing that's ever killed or almost killed one of your deals?
Oh God.
Besides your house and the fire and, you know.
Yeah, like all of those
Yeah.
things was probably like a credit that my client wanted that I offered to give, but he wanted it to come from
them.
the listing, like from
Yeah.
the seller. And I was like, but you got the money.
That's
Yeah.
happened.
And it was like,
It's
but
more of like a
it's like an ego
power
thing.
That's like
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
Brandon, his clients were like, no, you're not. And then he actually sent us a text like a week later and they gave him the money back. So they felt bad, but they were just trying to like stick it to the other side.
yeah.
And, like,
It's like just
guys, like,
let's
it's like
get
when
this-
it's like
deal.
we've had washer and dryers and they're like, I'm not leaving it. And it like tries to blow up the deal. I'm like, I will go to Home Depot right now and buy you a new washer
Yeah.
and dryer. Like, no.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, what's the weirdest thing or situation you've ever walked in on?
oh God. Like in life.
People
Whatever you
say that
want.
all the time. They're like, wait, personal life or real estate? And I'm like, well, shit, hit me with either one. But
Yeah.
like, you know, real estate. I've never really walked in on it other than like a
guess-
sleeping tenant.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was gonna say. Like there was like one house that like when very early on before it was like safety, you know, before you kind of like, you know, probably
your
like
wits about you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
12 years ago when I
Yeah.
walked in and there was like someone sleeping and I was like super uncomfortable and I just like left.
Yeah.
So I would say, oh, actually no, I have another one. Well, I guess kind of walked in. I was like before I got licensed, I was like a marketing manager and I'd go around and take photos of properties and then I would come back to the office and upload and put onto the MLS. I walked in one time and there was like this like puddle, like old stain. And I came back to the office. I was like, what was that? And they were like, oh, the seller had died in the property. And that was like, their like fluids and they just like left it. And I was like, you let me walk all over that? So
Did it stink?
no, they had like cleaned it, but they just like left the stain. And it was just like the bodily fluids that like come out of the body. Yeah.
My grandpa was a firefighter. My cousin's a firefighter. And like that stench you never get out. So I'm glad that it didn't stink because it's something you'll never.
Yeah. Like I just got a little nauseous thinking about it.
Oh, this is, oof. Anyway. Okay.
Okay, if you could be anything other than a real estate agent, what would you be and why?
I'm really interested in this answer.
Ooh, I would be a cook. That's like one of my things. I used to have a catering company before I got into real estate.
did?
It was small. I did like, you know, Christmas parties for title title holiday
So
parties.
fun.
And then
You like to cook. You're good.
I love to cook.
Okay, I'm for sure coming over for dinner when
Yeah.
we move into your house after we've cleared
But
it
I
with
want
the shaman.
I want a restaurant where everyone comes, we hang out. Like I want it to be like I'm so rich that this is my side hustle, and like I don't care if it does well.
I love this.
Like I just get
just a fun
like
place to
everyone
be.
gets to come and drink and eat and hang out. And
You could do that. I could see you doing that.
I'm like, hey,
100%.
how was Sarah's soccer game? You guys want a shot of tequila? All right, let's go. You know, like
I'm coming.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's what I want to do.
Oh my God, that's so
love
cool.
that.
Oh my God. Well,
What
thank
would you name it?
Oh yeah, what would you name it?
Sobremesa. So it's like a Spanish word for like the feeling of like doing nothing is kind of how I've read it. Like, and like the feeling of like when you're all together and like after a long day of work where you go and you kind of just sit and do nothing and you
just, like,
enjoy the
respite.
company
Yeah.
of your family and friends.
Fun.
But also like if that's not legit, like don't cancel me. That's what I've read.
Don't come for us in the comments. Don't
yeah,
worry.
Yeah, don't at me.
People probably stop listening at this point.
Okay.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Rude. Rude. We know
Savage.
you're still out there.
Yeah.
Ryan's for sure watching, if nothing else, right?
Better. He's my big brother.
I know.
Yeah.
I wanted him to come on. He's like, my stories aren't good. You got to have Bree. And I was like, well,
He has
obviously.
good stories.
Can you please talk to him for me?
Yeah, he
Okay.
has
And then
good
Josh
stories.
is coming too, but
Perfect.
we're trying to coordinate with him. So also get him on the horn.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm on it.
Thank you.
I'm on it.
Perfect.
I'll recruit for you.
I love you. I love you. You're the best.
you.
Oh yeah. I definitely, what other agents you know? Like, let's have them on.
I know no other agents.
Gil.
I'm just kidding. I know so many
Gil.
agents.
I know you do.
I've been in the industry for so long. They're all like,
Longer
oh, I know
than
you're
me.
this big. I'm like, cool. I'm not that big anymore. But
Don't you love that? You're
yeah.
like, oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But then I do that now. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Oh, I did it. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for being
Thanks
here.
for having me.
This
that
was
was
so
really fun.
fun.
So fun. I can't wait for martinis and Ouija boards.
Yep.
Don't worry, we'll post it on the Instagram too. We'll be like, guys, guess where we are right now? Bree's house, and I'm standing in the corner filming you guys. Like,
You're
I'm
like
I'm
at
not
the front
touching that.
door.
I'm not touching that. I'm at the front door, like barely coming in.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Of
We
course.
love you.
Thanks, guys. Mwah.
Mwah.
Bye.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Oh, listening too, I guess. And Cam's already taking her headphones off.
Like, bye.
Bye.
Out of here.
Thanks for listening. Behind the Lockbox is produced and edited by Property Showcase Group. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, or review this podcast. Thanks for your support. See you next week.